To be a successful biotech investor, one of the things you need to do is to recognize red flags when they happen. Sometimes companies say things that just don't add up, and you need to be able to see through the smoke and mirrors and recognize the facts as they really are. Today, I want to talk about a situation I came across recently. And when I told my 12-year-old son about this situation, he said, "Dad, that data is probably a fluke, and that company shouldn't have put out that press release." Stick around and I'll give you the details. Welcome back. So the other day, I was reading an interesting headline. The headline read, "Breakthrough in Alzheimer's Disease. Afirus halts clinical progression in Alzheimer's patients upon treatment with AD04 in a phase 2 clinical trial." And the rest of that press release went on to describe how AD04 supposedly achieved a 40% reduction in the progression of Alzheimer's disease compared to the other arms of that clinical trial. This small German company held a press conference that they videotaped and put up on the web. And when I watched that press conference, I was totally flabbergasted. It turns out AD04 was the placebo in their clinical trial. Now, right about now, the siren should be going off in your head. This is a major, major red flag. You cannot take a placebo and just call it an active treatment. That's a direct quote from my 12-year-old son, and he's not a biotech investor by any means, but even he knows that this is a red flag. So why did the company think that their placebo could be an active treatment? Well, they showed some data, and they said, "We monitored the change in size of the hippocampus, which is a region of the brain, and in AD04, after about a year, the hippocampus stopped shrinking. But in the other arms of the trial, it kept shrinking." Here's the thing. This trial originally was only supposed to be a 12-month trial. Sometime after the trial started, they decided to extend it to be an 18-month trial. And if you look at the graphs up to 12 months, they're not any different. It's only after 12 months that AD04 actually shows any difference. That data is highly suspect. They also have some secondary data based on caregiver burden, which is a survey that they give to the people taking care of the Alzheimer's patients. And they said, look, in the AD04 arm, there was no change in the caregiver burden. And in all the other arms, the caregiver burden got worse over time. Again, that data is probably a fluke. Now, this company says this was an accidental discovery, just like the discovery of Viagra or penicillin. Well, not really. First of all, penicillin was accidental, but it was not because it was the placebo in a clinical trial. And Viagra was actually being developed as a cardiovascular drug, and they noticed a strange side effect in all of the men taking the drug. And then Pfizer went back and decided to run clinical trials to develop it for erectile dysfunction. This is a completely different situation because they're saying we're trying to cure Alzheimer's, and look, our placebo happens to do a better job than the drug that we were testing. Now, this company says that the reason we think that this placebo might have an effect is it's not a normal saline placebo. Our original drug, AD02, that we were testing in this trial, is kind of cloudy when you look at it in the injection vial, and therefore we had to develop a placebo that was also cloudy to maintain the blind in the clinical trial. Now, Afirus is not the only company that's used this kind of logic. In fact, I know of a company that's running a phase 3 clinical trial right now, and in their SEC filings, they say, in order to run a blinded trial, we had to develop a placebo that was indistinguishable from our drug. As a follow-up to this video, if you're on our email list, I'm going to send you an email and reveal the name of this company because you might be invested in it right now. And if you're not on our email list, head over to redacre.com and hop on the list so that you don't miss this important email. Now, I'm not trying to say that this other company is going to pull the same stunt as Afirus and all of a sudden declare their placebo an active treatment and their lead pipeline candidate. But to be successful as a biotech investor, you need to be able to recognize these red flags if and when they happen. Now it's your turn. I want to know about the most egregious red flag you've come across in your investing? Leave a comment below. And if you have friends that are biotech investors, share this video with them. They'll thank you for it, and so will I. And finally, if you're an active biotech investor or would like to become an active biotech investor, I invite you to check out Red Acre Premium. Our mission at Red Acre Premium is to help you become a better, smarter, more profitable biotech investor by sharing exactly what we trade, how we trade, and why we trade the things we do. We're not interested in just giving you stock picks. We're interested in making you a more successful biotech investor. So check out Red Acre Premium. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.